Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike, and today I want to talk to you about the MP-52 Starscream version 2, really version 3, Destron Air Commander. This is Takara's actually third take on Starscream. I really like this guy. He looks great. He looks fantastic. And he has quite a few features that they packed into this guy. I got mine. It shows you can get yours there too. I'll have a link down below. So let's take a look at Starscream Really 3.0. Alright, so here is the box. Pretty much exactly what you would expect from Takara. Looks version 2.0. It's really a 3.0. But anyway. On the back there, you can kind of see all the stuff that's got going on. Yeah, typical Masterpiece packaging. Actually, it looks pretty good. I actually like the packaging. So here he is in his alt mode. And I think it's pretty nice looking alt mode. The difference between this and a lot of the other iterations is that it kind of has a lot of lines in it. So a lot of, you could say panel lines, but lines where parts and pieces come together. It just seems like the other versions are a little smoother. But still, in hand, it looks great. I mean, it's sleek, it's smooth, and it gets the job done. Has a couple of extra kind of fun gimmicks. First of all, it does come with these blast effects here, and it's got several different blast effects, and it does have these, well, they're sort of blast effects, but they're sort of go for the engine, so that looks good. And it's kind of the same kind of stuff they've been including with their Masterpiece for a while now. And then you can connect these, so you can keep the null rays connected, so that's kind of interesting how you do that. You have two options. You don't have to keep it connected right here. You can disconnect it and it'll still hold in place in the wing, sort of. Now this blast effect looks a little bit different on this side than the other one on the other side, so it is kind of fun. They included it like that. I would have actually rather had more symmetrical, like two of these or two of these, more than likely just two of these. But they did it the way they did it, but it still looks pretty good. The flight stand is a typical flight stand, but you can't get too much of a dynamic range or it just kind of flops. So it's you can get it in a sweet spot and hold it and it'll stay for quite a while, but yeah, if it's too dynamic of a pose or range, then it's not that great of a flight stand. Pulling it off the flight stand, you do have to remove this extra clear plastic piece that's in there, and it gets in there kind of tight. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but that's kind of how it holds to the flight stand. Once you have it off the flight stand, you can stand it on its own wheels if that's something that you want to do, and then you got the wheels there, and then you have to pull them out of here, flip up the flaps, pop them out, and then you can have it on its own wheels. So these pieces kind of got messed up while we're doing all that. So anyway, yeah, it's got a few other features too that it can do. It can open this little side of the nose cone there, and that's something. And that does have some paint in there, some gold paint on that. That's pretty good. You can also open up the cockpit, and you do have a seat in there. So a lot of cool little features that they've added into this. That's really kind of interesting how they did all of that. And there's actually another blast effect too. This blast effect right here, so we can use it in alt mode, probably. So we do have Megatron's gun right there, and I don't know, this might be a little bit too round. Let's go ahead and see if we can get a smaller one. Put that one here, put this one here, and then we can turn this over and tab in the gun, and we have a bigger quadruple blast effect going on. Hard to see really from that angle. Let's see from this angle. There we go. Yeah, pretty interesting. One interesting thing about this is these do kind of move. There's some movement in them and rotation, so you could get some sort of articulation there and angle it up however you want. So if that's the thing that you want or a thing that you need, they've got it. Now, doing a bit of a size comparison with the MP-44 and the Hot Rod, and it's kind of hard to kind of gauge what scale should be scale, but it does look pretty good. And here we go. I would actually not mind if it was a little bit bigger, as it is a jet. So that could be a little bit bigger. One of the things as I manipulate it, some of the things kind of just come out of place. They're not really super tight tabbed into it, but it's better than breaking. Coming out of place a little bit or getting them a little misaligned than just having to realign it is not as big of a deal. But anyway, here they are, scale, size comparison. There you go. All right, so for the transformation, we are going to put the wheels back and close all that up. Same here. Wheels back, close all that up. Let's disconnect the null rays from the wings, and then we're going to move around here to the back. We're going to start with the legs. So disconnecting and moving down these pieces, which for mine it just didn't really tab in all that well. And so get this out of the way. We're going to move the legs down, disconnected, and get them out of that area there. They are tabbed together right there. So we want to disconnect that. And slide them down just a bit. Now we are going to untab right here in this area, and then we're going to, this back piece comes up right here, and so if you were to give it a bit of a turn and a pull, it flips. Now people call that like a masterpiece moment, and I didn't capture that one on the screen very well, so I'll capture the other one from the back a little bit better. But a lot of people call that like a masterpiece moment, like where the engineering just all does itself, which is great. I mean, I like that. This back piece here, it can kind of open up and you can create other stances, like a wider stance for the foot, which is a good thing. So that is good. But the foot itself needs to tab into the mechanism like so. There we go. It tabbed right in. And then we need to work on this piece here with the leg. So this rotates around. Got to move it, move that for the clearance as it rotates around. And then we are going to slide this up a bit, flip it around, and then we got to get this piece lined up. And it's almost as if it matches itself to line up to go into here, right? Got to get it at the right angle so it closes, and then we tab it in like that to get a leg done. So we got a leg done. So it's kind of interesting and smart engineering. Push that knee up all the way. Just kind of a nice sight thing. Now this part here does tab, so I guess I didn't get those tabs in just right. Let's retab all that. So, but still, it's pretty good engineering the way they figured it all out and they did it. So I kind of like that. All right, moving into the other leg. So I'm going to try to do the other leg to where you can kind of see the masterpiece moment happen in real time. So we need to untab this piece, push sort of down, and then bring that piece up. And then here's the back of it. We are going to pull like that, and the masterpiece moment happened there. And we can kind of pop this out so we can get a little room right there to work. And with this leg here, we're going to push the foot down and snap it into place. Pull this out, which this will tab in. We're going to move this a bit to the side so it can clear itself. And then on this little slider piece, slide this down, rotate this. It won't rotate around that way, so you have to rotate around this way. And then we're going to make it all align with itself. Come on, how's it working? There we go. Align with itself there, so it'll go into here, and it'll tab into here. And I keep pushing this piece back. It has to tab into this and this at the same time. There we go. So I got the legs done. I like getting the legs done first because it offers you a little bit of stability, sort of. Can't really be stable with it. With all that's going on up top still, it's not really that stable. But let's go ahead and adjust this camera. Okay. So, next we need to work on sort of the back area. So we're going to disconnect all this. And we want to get more or less the wings out of the way for now so that we can mess with this thing. And so, with that, we can go ahead and pull the arms out and get them out of the way too. So let's see here. We got that part of the arms out of the way. Let's move the head up a bit, out of the way. Let's see. Make enough clearance to pull the arms out. And then around on the butterfly joint here. Not getting that quite on camera well. This side here will show it a little bit better. You have to have a bit of an angle, little room there, so that we could get these pulled out. And then on the butterfly joint, which is right here, we can get these arms out of the way so that we can work with the rest of this. That's up there out of the way. Now, we've exposed kind of the side. So this is a gap filler in a way. So we're going to pull a gap filler out. And then this is another gap filler. What's it hanging on? Oh, there it is. So this moves. You have to have that out of the way right there. So there's a lot of like moving pieces to make this work. See how that folds down? It's got to clear itself. There we go. And looking at this, let's double hinge this down. All this folds in on itself like so. So that's all great. Here we are starting to form. And we got to work on, we can at least sort of get these wings sort of positioned in a way with the double. These wings are on a double joint themselves, so you slide them in, slide them out. But the whole point I want to do right now is just get some of this stuff out of the way so it can keep working. Let's show that from another angle here. Well, maybe it's not the best angle. I'm going to fold this out, this in, and then this piece here. Just kind of get it out of the way. So it's sort of the wings and stuff out of the way to get the middle section taken care of. And basically, it's a giant faux cockpit for a faux chest there. So we're going to be taking care of that real quick. And it's interesting how all of this kind of folds around like so. And then we take care of it and handle it from this situation. So we are going to need to turn this piece here, and then this is going to stay opened, and then we are going to open this up. So this piece slides out like so, and we're going to close the seat, fold this out, fold these little pieces in, and then that all kind of slides together. Now, this is one of those things, if you look at it right now, you can see kind of his neck is way down there. So we're going to be pushing his neck up. So that's something else that's maybe a second masterpiece moment. You can see right there as we push his neck up, we get all of this aligned. And it also has to align so that you could close them up. So his neck's aligned, and he's going to sort of close up. And this piece fell down, but it's going to tab into right here. So that's going to offer some stability to all of this stuff that's going on. So now we're getting closer. Yes, we're getting closer. We do need to rotate this around, and then that will come down and go right there. Now, we've got to work a little bit on the wings and the arms, which the arms are getting close. The arms are getting real close. Okay, so with the wings, these are fun and different. Let's see here. Can you stand? Can you stand on your own so I can work on this? Almost. All right, so we already have the wings kind of, they did that whole rotation thing. We got some pieces out of the way, more or less. Got them out of the way. And we're going to open this up. And the really cool thing about this is it does detail and stuff on the inside that you're really never going to see. But they did it anyway. One of the things about Takara, I mean, we're hitting that $200 and something price point there. This goes in. That's going to fold on to that. Okay. And then this, we need to flip this around. Fold this down on the double hinge into place. And tab this in. So this little piece just fell off on me. Not a big deal. It just pops right back in, which I kind of like that. You always get scared if a masterpiece, something falls off on you. Anyway, we can do this again. Hopefully this piece doesn't fall off on me this time. This is a double hinge. You want to kind of get it as far out of the range of the double hinge as you can. Fold those pieces down. Flip this around. This is on a double hinge also, so we want to get all this down into here. Fold this around, tab it in, which it just seems like it would be easier to tab in than it is, and there it goes. Now we're going to fold this down, and it seemed like this piece just automatically folded under. I didn't fold it under, it just did it on its own, but we are going to tab all this in, and it tabs into itself. So there's this tabs into here, and then this tabs into here, and it didn't tab in all the way. There it goes, almost. See if the other side tabs in just a little bit better. See, like this piece here, it's gonna have to fold under, and then all this tabs into itself. And the gray tab's not wanting to go in, and I'm not wanting to force it that hard. And it seems to be holding okay. I don't want to force it. It's supposed to go in deeper than that, but as you can see. But it still looks pretty good. Okay, now we got to get the arms. I got to clean up that leg. I just knocked it out of place. We got to do the arms and kind of the shoulder pieces. So we can fold this all back in. And you can knock off your null ray, which actually is going to be a great opportunity there with that null ray to show a few things. So this, we got to retransform the null ray holder. It's like a null ray holder. I'm going to fold that into here, and it rotates around and then collapses in on itself, which it gives you like an extra quadruple jointed elbow or something like that. So that kind of works. Can set this into place on the null ray, open this hand, slide out the hand, fold it around, so that works. Same thing on the other side, and it's going to be a little easier because you're not having to mess with the null ray, but everything's easier said than done, huh? Fold it down a bit, over, into place, flip it around. I'm going to leave this hand the way it is. I'm going to put the other null ray on there. I'm going to be right back. We're going to talk about accessories and have a little bit better look at this guy with a better angle. Okay, so here he is in his bot mode. A couple little things about his transformation though. First of all, so these little side pieces here, I had them up and down, and you really have to disconnect all this to flatten them out and tab it back in. So that's how it should look. So I missed that point. And then the thing with this here, you actually have to tab this into the wings. And at first I thought, well, that's just strange, but when you do that, it gives it a little bit more, I guess, stability or something. So it's just strange how they did that. I wouldn't have thought to do it like that. And then for the feet, a lot of people say that they don't have stability in the feet, and I really do think that you need to pull these out as far as you can to give it the stability. Because at first I was like, wow, this thing isn't that stable, but look, he is stable. Hit that table, and he's stable. So a couple of good things there. Now I left this hand untransformed for a reason. We're going to show a few things. I'm going to show how all the attachments go on it. But here's the null ray, and the null ray does a couple of things. First of all, if you wanted in the alt mode, which I had, I think it's shipped like this, but in the alt mode I had it like that, and this is the way I guess it's supposed to look. But it won't hold the blast effects, I don't believe, and if it does, it doesn't hold the blast effects, so it doesn't look as good to me. I don't see the point. I don't even see why it needs to transform. I thought the null rays were fine the way they were. I guess they're going for some more accuracy or something, real world accuracy. So there's that. And then if you want this to be a gun, you can fold this down, and he can hold this gun also. So that's always a thing. All right, let's get this null ray put on his arm. Just plugs into this hole like so. And then let's get some attachments out for his hand. So you get this thing here, and it's just the claw, and pop it on there. And there's his claw, and then you can have some of this crystal, and he can hold the crystal with his claw, sort of. Oh, I don't know how many people are going to use that, but it's still cool. I mean, it's interesting. It's something they put on there, and it's easy to use. It's not that hard. I mean, the way they did the whole design is a real simple design. You also have this power driver, and he can... Starscream said, "You're screwed!" Yeah, anyway, let's pop that off there. And we can retransform this hand. Real simple. I like it when stuff is simple. The transformation, I wouldn't say is simple, but I don't think it's really that horrible. It's not really that bad of a transformation. I've seen worse. It's not a fuzzy transformation at all, so I've seen worse. Anyway, overall, I think he looks great. And I got to tell you that I was off-put by the color in the pictures, but in hand, it feels cartoony. It feels like the color of the cartoon. I do think that the animators changed a bit of stuff as the cartoon went by. So there's always that issue in that situation. It always goes on, but... overall, I think he's a pretty good-looking bot. I mean, he looks great. Just a nice-looking figure. This does look a bit kind of excessive, but it is a little mind-blowing how they decided to tuck everything inside the wings. So I actually commend them for that. I think that's a great idea, a great way to do it. And so that worked out. It worked out well. It worked out better than I thought. They are instituting a lot of faux chest, which is something new to them, but I think it's better than what they did. And with everything packed in there, he's still pretty slim. Like, all of that is tucked inside, and he has a faux chest. So all of that, he's pretty slim. I thought he'd be fatter and stockier than this, but looking pretty good overall. I kind of like that.
Get on with the ceremony.
So here he is with the included Megatron gun, and that works. And also, if you want to, since the same exact part that's on his bottom, in the alt mode is his back. You can plug the gun in there for storage also if you like, but seeing as how you're not going to be able to store all of his stuff, it's really, to me, it's not a point to store anything anywhere on this guy if you're not going to be able to store all of his accessories. And he comes with all of these faces. He's got a screaming face, a smiling face, a crazy face, an OOO face, and a smirk. I might swap out the smirk one day, but for me, I don't need as many faces. I'm just glad they included it for those who like this kind of stuff. So let's have a good look at this guy and talk about articulation. So far, I'm quite impressed with pretty much every aspect of this figure. I think that he looks good. I think that he feels good. The materials feel quality, and I think it's very well engineered and thought out. So, is it a 3.0? Well, yeah, it is. They've done a lot of new stuff with this. So, looking at his head looks good. And way better than the Make Toys. We'll do comparisons here in a minute, but look at this thing from side to side. I think I can actually shine a little more light on this here. Just he does not that reflective. So, but neck is really tight for the side to side. But I guess they feel it gave it better clearance. Let the ears go in and out. You can have it go way up, so you can get a down look and you can get an up look. So a lot of stuff going on with the head. And let's get a little more light on this. People complain when I have too much light. They say it looks washed out. So anyway, he can go to here, and then he could go all the way up, like all the way. Just so much Saturday Night Live going on right here. So really some good articulation with this guy. And then on this we have the bicep swivel. We have the elbow, and this is the extreme elbow. If you disconnect this piece here, you can get the extreme. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Oh, I'm not going to do it. Anyway, and with the hand, I already have this hand open over here. So you do have 1-2 points in every finger. They're all individual. They all feel tight and solid. The thumb is opposable. Well, opposite opposable. I don't know. But it only goes up and down. So when you're holding the gun, he holds the gun like this. I don't know anyone that holds a gun like that. So well, he's not used to using a gun because he has his null rays just on his arm. So, I mean, that explains all of that. You do get the ab crunch like this. No waist swivel, and I know everyone is upset about that, but it doesn't really bother me so much, but I can see why. It feels like, all this stuff they put into this, and it doesn't have a waist swivel, which is almost a basic. It didn't do it in the cartoon. You do have all of this out to here, and you hear that ratchet. It's nice. The backpack is going to obstruct from anything going much further than that to the back. But I mean, really, you can still get a running pose out of it, you know? You can still kind of... He's running. I was running. And then getting down here, you do have kind of a universal stuff going on inside here for the for the thigh. You do have way past the 90, which for the knee, so you can go up to here. And kind of feels like some MP-44, almost as much as MP-44. And then getting down to the ankles, you do have the rocker on the foot there. And I do say you do need this out all the way. I was thinking that it was an option. I really think for stability on this guy, you do need that all the way. But other than that, he's super solid. Like, dude, super solid. I am really, really impressed with this figure. And I wasn't planning on liking it that much, to tell you the truth. I was kind of thinking, I'm not going to like it. I'm not going to like it. I'm going to like the cheaper one better. But they've done quite a bit with this. So let's look at a couple of other things that he does. He does pop this chest open, and he has some great detail in there. And this piece is plastic, but this is die cast and painted. Really nice cold touch. And then this piece down here is die cast, and of course the flaps are plastic. And lots of paint on this guy, looking fantastic with the paint. And so just really, I think they've done a stellar job on this one. And I wasn't wanting to like it this much, but now I'm really liking it. So let's see how much I like it compared to Make Toys and some other stuff. So this is where he starts to run into some issues when you compare him to MP-11, the Coronation set. He's a lot shorter than the MP-11, and I'm just kidding. This is actually the KO oversized version of MP-11. That's why he's so big. And I'm one of the few people that still kind of hold on to that 12-inch scale. But I guess I'm glad they switched to 9. So side by side, just aesthetically, he looks so much cleaner. Like, look at all of this junk on the side of the legs, and just having these still on the side of the legs. So that is just such a massive improvement from the MP-11 mold, and I'm glad I got rid of almost all of the MP-11 and MP-03 molds. Looking forward to new Seekers and a new era. So Make Toys did some pretty good work here, and I think that does look good. I think that the Make Toys is still a decent looking option, but I do like this one better. And you can get the Make Toys for $150. This is like $100 more than the Make Toys. And looking at the color, I still kind of like the color of Make Toys better, but I do believe that this gray is a little more tune accurate for the majority of the series. So it's one of those things, like, is Takara resetting the standard on colors on these? Is that a true color? And I looked through a lot of stills and pictures I've captured, and it's actually never this white. And most of the time, it's not quite that dark, but still, the dark color was one of my biggest offsets or problems with this, and I think he looks pretty good, actually. So here he is next to MP-44 and the Megatron. That's the Mag-10 KO. This is the Silver Leg KO. And this is, yeah, he's a little short. I'm not going to lie. I think he's too short to a point, but yeah, he's short. I would like to see him a little bit taller than that, and I'm probably going to cheat in my display and have him stand on something, but I'd like him a little bit taller, like, you know, up to here or something. So that is the downside. So really, out of all of this, that's really the biggest downside aside from the price. So it's there. You can see how it looks for yourself. So this has been my look at the Starscream 2.0, which is really a 3.0 from Takara. He looks good. There's a lot of great to like about him. He has a lot of accessories. He has a great finish to him. They brought back diecast. Somebody has said, Takara, there's this material diecast that you can start using again. They started using it again in him, so it's really great. He does look great. The design is overall great. The transformation is okay. It's not horrible. And I never felt like I was going to break this guy, so there's a lot of good things about him. I feel like he's a little bit too short. The flight stand leaves a lot to be desired, but with the inclusion of a really wicked butterfly joint and a lot of great things that you can do with this thing, a lot of great articulation, and he just looks good. Overall, I think he's the best looking one. The biggest downside is he is a little short. So if you can get past that, then you can get past the price point. It's going to be a great option for your shelves. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I got this at Shozy. I'll have a link in the description where you can get yours. Like, subscribe, and Tidarium Hanger. Out. Alright, so I gotta go put this back in MP-44's box. Put his old head back on. Gotta find his old box. Hope the head's in there. Darn, I hope I don't have to transform this back into pop mode to sell it. Darn.
Oh, how it pains me to do this!